Hey everyone, welcome back. David in History for the Ages here. So, how much do you know about world religions? Let's take this quiz, 20 questions, and we'll jump right into it. And we'll start with question number one. So, we'll start easy. The Temple of Solomon was built in what city? Is it A, Jerusalem, B, Venice, C, London, or D, Mecca? Probably a lot of people know this one, even without the multiple choice, but it is Jerusalem. I have a whole video on the Temple of Solomon if you want to learn a lot more about it. And you can find that on my channel, just like brief history of the Solomon's Temple. All right, let's go to question two. Christ was born in what city? Is it A, Vatican City, B, Akko, I know it's spelled A-C-R-E, but it's Akko, C, Bethlehem, or D, Jerusalem? And so the answer to that question is C. So that's where Christ was born. One of the things I did recently is I created a whole playlist on religious history. So if you want to learn about a lot details of all this, I've got individual videos and I have an entire playlist I'll leave in the description. All right. Question number three. Muhammad was born in what city? Mecca, Medina, Jerusalem, or Baghdad? And you have a little map. You can see where some of these places are, of course. And the answer to this one is Mecca. He actually was born in Mecca, later will move to Medina. And again, I have a whole set of lectures on this topic as well. So that would be A for number three. All right, who was the first king of the Hebrews? Is it Saul, David, Solomon, or Abraham? And the first king that united the 12 tribes was Saul. Saul was the first king of the ancient Hebrews. All right, question number five. Who was the first Roman emperor to convert to Christianity? Was it Augustus, Trajan, Constantine, or Diocletian? And the answer to that one is C, Constantine. So first five questions, kind of easy, but we're trying to make the next ones a little bit harder as we move forward. Hopefully you got the first five. All right, so six, what edict did Constantine order which gave tolerations to Christians in Rome? Was it the Edict of Milan, the Edict of Nantes, or the Edict of Worms? And I'm wondering if you would know that without a multiple choice, but the answer would be A, Edict of Milan. And this happened shortly after a big battle he fought, the Battle of Milvian Bridge. I have a video on this as well, pretty dramatic stuff. He wins this battle, and then eventually will become ruler of all of Rome. And you're going to get this Edict of Milan, which is going to help be a very important cause of why religion, Christian faith, spreads in Rome. Although there's a whole issue of it could have spread even without him, and I cover that in my detailed video as well. All right, seven. What is the name of the Jewish New Year? Is it Yom Kippur, Passover, or Pesach, as it's said in Hebrew, Purim, or Rosh Hashanah? And actually, I have an image of apples and honey here. The answer is D. Why the apples and honey? Because in Jewish New Year's, one of the things you do is you dip apple and honey because you want a sweet New Year. So one of my favorite lectures I have is actually a really cool little 5-minute video, just like everything you know about Jewish holidays in 5 minutes. It's actually one of my more popular videos. I'll link that one as well in the description for you because it's just a lot of people enjoy that one. All right, next. Question 8. How many pillars are there in the Islamic faith? 2, 3, 4, or 5? A, B, C, or D? And there are actually 5 pillars in the Islamic faith. Again, in my longer video, I go through them all, what you're supposed to do. These are things that Muslims are supposed to do. Do all Muslims do them? No. Do all Jewish people eat kosher? No. Do all Christians go to church every Sunday? No. But these are the 5 pillars of the Islamic faith. All right, the Four Noble Truths. They are associated with which religion? Is it A, Buddhism, B, Islam, C, Hinduism, or D, Judaism? And the answer to that is actually A. Most of my material covers more Western Civ, Middle Eastern history, but I did kind of make a video on Eastern religions as well. You'll find that in my playlist also. It's not a field I know as much about, but of course, it is still kind of important, impacts the lives of many people, so I have a little video on that as well. All right, 10. Which Protestant movement is most associated with predestination? Is it Lutheran, is it Calvinism, or is it C, the Anglican Church? And the answer to that is B, Calvinism. I have a video on the Protestant Reformation, really important, cover it every semester in my Western Civ classes. All right, 12. The Vedas provide us knowledge with which religion? Is it A, Hinduism, B, Confucius, C, Buddhist, or D, Islam? And the answer to that is A, right? So A, we associate the Vedas with Hinduism. All right. 13. During which holiday do Jewish people remember the destruction of the second temple? Yeah, there was more than one Solomon's temple. Some people don't even know that, but there was the first temple, it was destroyed by the Babylonians, and there was a second temple, it was destroyed by the Romans, and that took place on Tisha B'Av. So the answer would be C, right? So of all the choices there, C would be the answer on that, Tisha B'Av. Very important event. I have a video explaining just how Rome kind of swept into ancient Israel and the impacts that had. Very important stories, Masada, and all of this stuff. All right, 14. Most Muslims in the world are of which branch, Sunni or Shia? And the answer to that is actually a Sunni. In terms of the difference between them, I mean, basically it had to do with who should lead the Islamic community after Muhammad dies. Should it be its blood relatives? Should it be more as inner circle people? The inner circle people idea was more his followers were Sunni. The Shiite was the ones who wanted to come from his blood relatives. And again, much more detail in my full videos on this. All right, next question. 15. Luther began, it's kind of a fun one. Luther began his education in the study of what before he decided to follow his religious direction? And so his dad especially, there was math, law, painting, sculpture. What was he actually going to study? And his dad, of these four, wanted him to study law. So he ended up going to law first, law studies. He didn't really kind of find that as his path and eventually went, of course, to study theology. But his initial position was to study law when he first went to schooling. All right, Thomas Becket this is very detailed. Now they're getting a little harder. Thomas Becket had a conflict with which king of England? Henry II, Henry III, Henry IV, Henry V, so many Henrys. And the answer is A, Henry II. And this is actually a crazy story of where Thomas Becket was in this cathedral. This is a spot where he was actually killed in the cathedral by four of Henry's knights. Something I cover in one of my lectures on Thomas Becket and Henry II. You can also find that on my channel. Good stuff. All right, who became caliph of the Islamic community after Muhammad died? Was it Uthman, Ali, Abu Bakr, or Orhan? And the answer to that is C. C. So that kind of is the whole Shia Sunni thing I was mentioning before a little bit. All right, 18. Who do we associate the Analects with? Is it Luther, Calvin, Confucius, or Solomon? And the answer to that one is C, Confucius. That's where we get a lot of the ideas of Confucianism and all that good stuff. All right, just a couple more questions. Hope you're doing well. 19. Homage and fealty were oaths which were part of what Middle Age component? Marriage, trials, feudalism, or banking? And the answer to that is C, feudalism. You know, you had these oaths of lords and vassals would take these oaths of homage and fealty, promising loyalty and respect for land and military service, and it's all this stuff I cover in Life in the Middle Ages, which was a big part of the church was a big part of that. And last question, according to kosher diet, you're not supposed to mix what two foods? Is it fruit and meat, meat and dairy, fruit and dairy, or fish and vegetables? And the answer to that is meat and dairy. So no bacon cheeseburgers if you're Jewish. All right, so those are our 20 questions. Hopefully you got a lot of them right. Again, I can watch a whole set of videos. I have my whole playlist on this. I'll leave the link here. You can watch my whole playlist on the history of religions, and learn a lot, and even have unit studies if anybody's homeschoolers. I've got a whole unit study on this you can watch in order as well. And I hope you did well. Thank you for watching. I have other quizzes as well I have on my channel on ancient Rome, ancient history, general history, World War II, Napoleon, a whole bunch of fun stuff. So hopefully you'll kind of stick around and watch some of those as well. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thank you for watching.